for the second and final moto of the day for the minis. Defending champ Chad Pederson rides number 315, ready for this second moto. He finished 5th in the first moto. And 16-year-old Chris Neal, a privateer on his Kawasaki number 57C. He finished 4th in the first moto. These men both with a chance to win.
Also ready, Jimmy Button, 50J. Jimmy finished 3rd in the first moto, just 13 years of age and already a Honda factory rider. Everybody tickling those throttle, trying to keep the engines running clean. This is number 6L, Jimmy Gaddis. He got a 2nd place finish in moto number 1. He also is a factory rider for Team Suzuki.
Remember, he was in that tremendous fight with Jimmy Button in the first moto. And 16-year-old Jeff Emig, who finished 1st in the first moto, a support rider receiving his support from Kawasaki. He'll be riding number 47J. So they come up to the gate, they're on the line and ready to go.
It's time for the mini moms to cross their fingers as their sons head down into that starting turn that isn't wide enough to accommodate all of them side by side.
The heart beats faster, the throttles begin to pick up, the gates down, and the minis are off as Jimmy Button on his Honda pulls out in front, dives into the turn first.
And also with a tremendous start and sliding into the second slot, 6L, Jimmy Gaddis on his Suzuki.
Button pulls his lead. He's being chased by Gaddis. Then a bit of a space, then Jeff Emig and Chris Neal.
We are watching the finest mini-cycle racers in all the world, the CMC 80 experts. Now, these kids primarily are 13, 14, 15, even 16. It's taken them that long to work themselves up to the expert ranking. A lot of them started 8 or 9, some of them as young as 6 years of age. And it truly is a family sport. Back at every truck, you'll find mom and dad, little sis, and usually a dog along for the ride. And most of them have aspirations to become a factory rider on the bigger bike. And when they do that, after their 16th birthday, they'll have to start all over again, as I said before, as a junior, and again work their way back to the top.
You know, the thing I think is so interesting here is you and I have both said these men, these men, these men. And in fact, what we're looking at is 13, 14, 15-year-old kids.
But I'll tell you, the way they look out there, Paul, they look like men. And for riders at home that are watching this that have a mini-cycle in the garage and figure when the show's over, they're going to go attack the local woods, be careful. You're looking at the best talent on earth in the best protective gear. Shoulder pads, chest protectors, the brand new plastic boots that offer all kinds of ankle support. Be careful.
Don't be deceived by the 80cc motors either. Considering weight and power, these are very fast bikes, and they're tough to handle.
I can attest to that, as I mounted one earlier. At first I thought, what a piece of cake. Then it hit its power band and almost threw me over backwards.
Jimmy Gaddis now charges for the lead. Jimmy Button just in front. Gaddis pulls to the outside. They're neck and neck through the Devil's Drop, and Jimmy Gaddis takes the lead from Jimmy Button.
A terrific pass by Gaddis, who was 2nd in the first moto. Now, should Jeff Emig, who won the first moto, end up 2nd here, Gaddis would be the overall winner, because a tie like that is determined by your finish in the final moto we're looking at right now.
Of course, Steve, that is assuming that Gaddis continues in this position and goes on to victory. But Jimmy Button isn't about to let that happen. Button closes up. Again, he tries to chase down Gaddis and collect on first place once again. But Gaddis, once again, is able to pull away.
And coming up over the ledge, a favorite place for the still photographers, that is Jeff Emig in 4th, trying to take 3rd place away from Buddy Antunez, number 76B. And Buddy's got to be feeling a lot better about this moto, Paul, than he did the first one.
Antunez on 76, being chased right behind him. The 47 bike of Jeff Emig. Emig, remember, was 1st in the first moto. Back to the lead once again.
And the number 6 bike out in front, that is Jimmy Gaddis, 50J, Jimmy Button. Just behind him, Button kind of hunting around looking. They fly off of that jump. These youngsters really showing some talent here today. We're looking at, as you said at the top of the show, the future stars of international motocross. Stick with us. We're just about halfway through the final 80 expert moto.
Magnificent seascape as the Pacific Ocean rolls into the shore of Southern California, just a few miles away from the Carlsbad Raceway.
And of course, every beach needs to be combed occasionally, which is apparently what those people are up to. How to get a metal detector, you can find a lot more stuff. Meanwhile, here's a bunch of kids in their middle teens that are putting on a show any adult rider would envy. Jimmy Gaddis still out in front on 6L. Jimmy Button in the 2nd place. The fellow who won the first moto, Jeff Emig, he is back in 4th.
This is the fight for fourth. 47J Jeff Emig and Chad Pederson closing down behind. And they begin now to close on the 76 machine that belongs to Buddy Antunez.
I'm Steve Evans along with Paul Page, and we're here at Carlsbad Raceway in North San Diego County for the CMC Dodge Truck Golden State Nationals. This is the final mini race of the day, but coming up later on, we'll have the all-important final 250 Pro race, Paul.
The rider on the green 47 bike is Jeff Emig. He is currently in fourth place, but he closes down now on Buddy Antunez, who is currently riding in third place. So the fight begins for third. Chad Pederson is closing down behind on 315. As we've got a rider down, Emig's down, and Chad Pederson runs into him. Neil gets by. Both riders okay, though. Emig is a little slow getting up, hops on the bike now, and he pulls out. But Neil got past during that accident with Pederson and Emig.
Also getting by 78A, Tommy Clowers. And all of this will be good news for that man, 6L Jimmy Gaddis. He is out on the lead, just smoking this Carlsbad course. And of course, it appeared to us that Jeff Emig was maybe the spoiler in this whole thing.
You know, he doesn't know it at the moment, but Jimmy Gaddis picked up a tremendous advantage when Jeff Emig went down. Now, Emig was the winner in the first moto and has the lowest point total coming here. That definitely helped him when Emig went down. We're looking now, the fight for fifth, Tom Clowers and Chad Pederson.
You know, we've described some of these riders as factory riders. That means just that. The factory brings out the bikes, the mechanics. They do all the work. Now, Tommy Clowers, he's a privateer. That means his mom and dad signed for the bike, and they're paying for all the fuel, tires, and everything else he needs. And then there's that niche in the middle, a Chad Pederson. He's called a support rider. That means the factory may loan him a bike, give him a brake-on part, but by no means is it a free ride.
We go back to the front of the field. There is Jimmy Button. He rides in second place. Just ahead and taking the white flag with one more lap to go is Jimmy Gaddis.
This could be the best single lap of racing all day long, Paul, in the mini ranks. You've got two factory riders, a Suzuki out in front, a Honda with Jimmy Button in second position, and Button is pressing as hard as he can, using every muscle in his body. Going inside there, he picked up two bike legs.
And Jimmy Gaddis, 14 years old, out in front, accelerates a bit away. Now look, as Button closes once again. Here comes Gaddis, there comes Button, and they are riding for all they're worth.
If you think 14 is pretty young to be leading a race, the guy behind him is only 13, Jimmy Button. Now Button sliding back on that seat anywhere he thinks there's traction. Such as going uphill to the start of the freeway. Now we'll see which of these professional mini riders has the downhill skills, and it looks to be Button. Button is picking up bike lengths on Gaddis, but he's running out of real estate, Paul. The last lap, only a few turns left. Look at this race.
Down the freeway, Gaddis continues to hold his lead. Button comes to the inside now, closes up again. Gaddis forced to the outside. Button takes the lead. Now Gaddis comes back to his left, but Gaddis cannot catch Button. Here he tries it again. Again he goes too wide. Button on the downhill run. Jimmy Button pulls out a bit of a lead on the Honda. Gaddis closes once again. We're still on the final lap. Jimmy Button is being chased by Gaddis. Gaddis had the lead through most of this race. Now here comes Jimmy Button as they head up toward Devil's Drop.
And Paul, doing the math, as far as points are concerned, this is the race for the overall win. Be it Button or Gaddis, whoever takes the checkered flag will be the winner here today. The 80 effort, it is Jimmy Button. Button on a Honda. Gaddis will have to settle for second.
The fight for fifth place, Chad Pederson. Jeff Emig right behind on 47. Tommy Clowers has dropped back to seventh now as we watch this fight for fifth. Can Emig catch him? Down through Devil's Drop. No, Emig is right on his tail at the checkered, but Pederson comes across in fifth.
Terrific racing across the top five here in the final moto. And here's how they took the checker. Jimmy Button on the Honda in a tight race with Jimmy Gaddis. Buddy Antunez, who fell in the first moto, got in for third. Now,